Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you having a great weekend. Hope all of you having a great Saturday night. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. Man, oh man, we got to talk about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Shedeur Sanders. As some of you have noticed, we've been talking about him a lot recently, and I've been praising him to the point where a lot of you are saying, Matt, you're D-riding Shedeur. Matt, you're glazing him, yada, yada, yada. You've seen all the comments. Well, this video is going to be completely different. It's going to be a 180. And I told you guys this. When was it? When was the first preseason? Oh, no, it was like a couple weeks ago, whenever his first preseason game was. I can't remember the exact date. I told you word for word, I'm going to be the first person to praise Shedeur Sanders and any athlete when they do good, but I'm also going to be the first person to critique them. That's the difference with me in this channel. I'm going to praise you when it's time to be praised. However, I'm also going to criticize you when it's time to be criticized. And guess who played like hot garbage today? Shedeur Sanders. He looked terrible, and I'm calling it for how I see it. He looked awful. I can't stop thinking about it, so I'm going to bring it up right now. A little disclaimer and warning. I'm going to be all over the place in this video, but it is what it is. The one knock I had on Shedeur at Colorado, and it's the one thing I was looking for in preseason, is for him to quit, or it's what I was paying attention to the most, is he still going to do all that running around bull crap. I don't care what you say. It's terrible. I don't know why he did it at Colorado, and I still don't know why he's doing it in the NFL. You can't do that. These are the best of the best. These are professional athletes. And guess what? Newsflash, buddy. It didn't even work at Colorado. When you don't have anything there, when you don't have something there, whatever you want to call it, throw the ball away, take a 3 to 4 yard sack. I am sick and tired, and I want to see Shedeur succeed, and I can't be the only one who feels this way. I am sick and tired of seeing him run 10 yards backwards, do a spin move, run 15 yards backward. Next thing you know, it's a 20-yard sack, and it's a complete waste of a possession because at that point in time, it's like 3rd and 30, and you're not going to get those. And it's not even like I'm exaggerating it. No lie, it was 3rd and 30, and it's not the first time. Like I was saying, we saw it at Colorado. We saw it a little bit at Jackson State. He got away with it at Jackson State a few times because they didn't have as good as athletes out there. But at Colorado, there'd be multiple times where you look up on the screen on the TV, 2nd and 27, 3rd and 35. And you're like, man, what happened? I'll tell you what happened. Shedeur happened. He's running around in the backfield trying to make something out of nothing. Throw the ball away. And here's the thing, right? You can take a sack. You can overcome a sack. Say it's, I don't know, 2nd and 16 or even 3rd and 17. At least you may have a shot, but 3rd and 30, nah, it's wraps. You might as well punt it then and there. And I already know you're going to have some people saying, well, Matt, his offensive line didn't play good. Matt, he's playing with the 2s and 3s. I don't care. That sack bullcrap is completely on Shedeur Sanders, 110%. He's been doing this for years. He has got to quit doing it. It is a drive killer. It's a momentum killer, and it can single-handedly lose you some games. We ain't even talked about this, so since you're almost guaranteed to punt, since it's going to be 3rd and 30, instead of your opponent having the ball on like the 20, 25, they're now going to have it on like the 30 or 35. You're giving them better field position. And not even just that play, but there's another play I'll show it to you right here. It's trending all over Twitter. Clean pocket. He's got a wide open guy, and he took a sack. He didn't even throw the ball. As great as he was in that first preseason game against the Carolina Panthers, this is definitely concerning for me, and I think it set him back. It was just not a good look. Not a good way to end it because let me remind some of y'all, this was his last game. He's not going to play in the regular season because you'd have to have 2 major things happen. And I'm talking about either Flacco and Gabriel both would have to get hurt or both of them play atrocious. Bottom line is, Shedeur, he's not going to play in the regular season. So this is the last memory all these NFL GMs, coaches, scouts, whatever you want to call them, they have of him, this poor performance in his final preseason game. And I'm not too concerned with the stat line. What do he wind up going? What is it right here? 3 for 6, 14 yards. Dang, he took 5 sacks? Holy crap, I thought it was like 3. Yeah. Whew, that's really bad. Offensive line wasn't that great, but this isn't just on the O-line, and it's going back to the Colorado days. Shedeur taking all those sacks wasn't just solely on Colorado's offensive line, although they didn't have a great O-line. They weren't as bad as they seemed and as bad as the numbers indicated because Shedeur Sanders refuses to throw the ball out of bounds. And this kind of sounds like a slight at him, but it's not. It's the cold, harsh truth. That's also why he had the highest completion percentage, or one of the highest completion percentages in all of college football, because He never threw the ball out of bounds. He would wait till somebody's open or take a sack or scramble out of bounds, something like that. He never throws the ball away, and you've got to do that in the NFL. Fight to see another down. I've said before, I'm going to say it again. If you're going to be one of these people defending him, saying, well, the offensive line didn't help him out, I'm not going to say you're totally wrong, but you're not right, because Shedeur Sanders is the main reason he gets sacked a lot. It's his own fault. And this is another thing I don't want to get too deep into, but as a quarterback, after about, first couple series, okay, yeah, I'm starting to get a lot of pressure on me quick. My offensive line isn't holding up well. So your timer, your internal clock has to go off a little faster. Therefore, you have to throw the ball quicker than you normally would. Shedeur has never been good at that. Never. He has got to, and I mean he has got to start learning, number one, to read the defense faster, and number two, get the ball out of your hands. I am not the biggest Dillon Gabriel fan in the world. Y'all know this. I'm not going to go on a rant and tangent, but I'll give him credit. He lets that thing fly, for better or for worse. He gets it out of his hands very quickly, and I do like that about his game. Is he a little riskier than Shedeur? Sure, but the problem with Shedeur is he's waiting for a receiver to get open, and in the NFL, you can't do that. You just got to throw it in those tight windows. If it gets intercepted, oh, well, it gets intercepted. It's going to happen. That's why at the collegiate level, you see a guy like Shedeur or Cam Ward or whoever, maybe Arch Manning, any college quarterback, like a Bryce Young, all the best quarterbacks that win the Heisman Trophy, they have a stat line something like this: 4,000 passing yards, 45 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Unreal numbers, right? You never see that in the NFL. Why don't you see it? Because the defense is so much better. What's a good quarterback stat line in the National Football League? Something like 35 touchdowns. Or you may see someone with 40 touchdowns, but they're also going to have like 12, 13, 14 interceptions. Very rare for a quarterback in a season to have 40 touchdowns and only like 4 to 5, 6 interceptions. Very rare. But at the college level, not so much. There's so many guys I can think of. Hey, Tua Tagovailoa at Alabama. Every year he started there. 40 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. Kyler Murray at Oklahoma. Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma. And the list goes on and on and on. CJ Stroud. I could sit up here for days. But the guys in the National Football League that are completing 78% of their passes, throwing 40 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, no, you don't see that. Maybe one every couple of years. Where I'm going at with all this is you don't have receivers running wide open. You have to throw the ball quick and just try to fit it in those windows. Gabriel does that, does a good job at it at times. Sanders, not so much. He only does good when a receiver is wide open. Now, here's the thing, too. Let me throw this in there before I forget. And there's going to be some other things I forget to touch on because this is my immediate reaction to the game. Am I going to overreact to one slightly bad performance by Shedeur Sanders? Absolutely not. It's a preseason game. But my job is to evaluate and analyze the game. And you know how he looked today? Not good. Not good at all. And that's me sugarcoating it. One thing I look for in young quarterbacks, whether that be at the collegiate level or professional level, is happy feet. And guess who had happy feet today? Shedeur Sanders. I hate to see that. That is a very bad sign. You know who didn't have happy feet in their game last night? Jackson Dart. I tell you this much, if you compare their performances, Jackson Dart ran circles around Shedeur. Last night, Jackson Dart looked like a starter in the NFL. Today, Shedeur Sanders, he looked like a young quarterback that was sped up. Never looked comfortable. I need to address this because I had a few people send it to me on Twitter, by the way. If there's anything you feel like we need to talk about or is worthy of being in a video, send it to me on Twitter. Great community over there. Shout out to y'all. But yeah, like I was saying, so apparently and allegedly, there's this conspiracy theory going around, that's what I'm going to call it, that when Dillon Gabriel was in there, the offensive line was playing harder and they were playing better, and the coaching staff was calling better plays. But when Shedeur Sanders went in there, and if I sound confused telling y'all this, it's because I am confused, because I don't believe this for a split second. Anyways, like I was saying, so apparently when Shedeur went in there, the coaching staff called all these terrible plays and just wasn't doing a good job. You know what I got to say about that? Are we for real? Are we really about to do this? Look, I'll be the first person to tell you, Shedeur Sanders with the Browns, and I've said it since he got drafted, he's not going to get a fair shot, and oh, what do you know? He hasn't gotten a fair shot. That's fine. I'm in the same boat with the people saying that. But to sit up here and say that they were actively, I guess you'd call it, coaching against Shedeur Sanders, calling terrible plays, and the offensive line wasn't holding up when he went in there, Come on, man. That's a little bit too ridiculous. I think that goes back to just the Shedeur Sanders fan base being so delusional. They can't accept the fact that, guess what? Shedeur played awful today. Yeah, I said it. He played awful. There's no conspiracy theory. The coaching staff doesn't have some hidden agenda against him. By the way, why would they have that? Because their jobs and livelihoods on the line. Different conversation for a different day. But seriously, there's no hidden agenda against Shedeur. They're not rooting against him. They want to see him succeed. Dude, if Shedeur Sanders could go out there and win them a Super Bowl, I think they'd want that to happen, right? But that's just not the case. With that being said, I do want to say this. Shedeur Sanders, let's make this clear and evident. Guess who he's playing with today? The 2s and 3s. So did he have a lot of help? Absolutely not. And if you want to say he had no help at all, I'm fine with that. But what I'm saying is, don't sit up here and try to tell me that his coaching staff and his teammates were trying to backstab him and do bad on purpose. No, I don't think that's the case. And due to the fact that this is only his second game, and it's a preseason game at that, and he is playing with the 2s and 3s, I'm not going to hold this against Shedeur. I'll probably forget about this performance in a month and a half or 2 months. It's not that big of a deal. Because I know what Shedeur Sanders can do when he's playing at the level I know he can play at. I know how good he can play when he's with the 1s. Not the 2s and 3s, but the 1s. And he has all the protection in the world. And he has great wide receivers at his disposal. I saw it at Colorado. But here's another knock I do have on him. When things are going great for him, his attitude is at an all-time high. He's a lovely person to be around. And the energy he puts off, it's contagious. But when things are going bad for him, and you saw it at Colorado, he does have a nasty attitude, and many people don't want to be around him. And you can sense it through the TV. He's not the only athlete that does that. But when you're the quarterback by default, you're the leader of the team, and it's not a good look when you're disassociating yourself from the game and from all your teammates when you're losing and you're getting sacked and things aren't going your way. These guys are counting on you. You're the leader. So if everyone else has their head down, that's cool, but you can't. You got to be pepping up everybody else. Am I riding his coattails? Am I being a little too hard on him? Absolutely, but I'm hard on myself. I'm hard on my friends. I'm hard on everybody I associate with because I expect greatness. If I'm not being hard on you, that's a bad sign, and that's when you should worry because that means I've given up on you. All in all, he didn't have a good day. It is what it is. Here's one thing I want to throw in there before I end off this video. It didn't even matter if he would have went out there and was 19 for 19. You know good as well as I do, he's not going to play for the Cleveland Browns, so that is a slight positive you can take out of this. This performance almost meant nothing. Here's what I'm saying. Him playing bad didn't set him back because the Browns wouldn't have cared if he played really good. Many more things I could say. We're going to end up this video here. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below. But